Novak's style of play thrives on rapid side-to-side motion. Tennis rallies are built on the physical underpinnings of lateral movement and are centered on the outside leg, the one farther from the intended direction. This leg generates the ground reaction force, GRF, that propels the body sideways fleeting seconds. A split-second, split-step followed by an explosive dash to one side, often repeated dozens of times in a point. Lateral movement makes up well over 70% of on-court footwork at the elite level. By warming up these specific patterns before a match, Novak primes his neuromuscular system for swift change of direction, ensuring his muscles and joints are ready for the exact physical demands he'll soon face. If that leg isn't primed, the shift lacks power, fluidity, and balance. These warm-ups tune the muscles, tendons, and stabilizing joints, particularly around the hips and ankles, so that when Novak bursts laterally, there's snappy strength, minimal energy loss, and confidence in foot placement. As athletes age, especially in their 40s, maintaining the elastic response and muscular symmetry required for lateral bursts becomes increasingly challenging. Natural declines in joint mobility, tendon elasticity, and proprioceptive acuity happen over time. Novak's lateral warm-up routine helps counteract those declines by gently activating tissues and neural pathways that may otherwise be sluggish from rest or recovery sessions. It's a proactive measure. Stirring his body into readiness helps preserve the quick, balanced footwork at which he's a master. Consider the biomechanical stress involved. After hitting a ball wide, a player must decelerate laterally, shift weight, and accelerate back to center, all in fractions of a second. Without a warm-up attuned to those stresses, the risk of missteps, fatigue, or even injury increases. By warming up in a way that mimics real match signals, requiring balance maintenance, muscle timing, and joint control, Djokovic calibrates his system. He's ensuring that his reaction speed stays high and his recovery position remains balanced, even deep into long rallies. Furthermore, sustained excellence in tennis depends on energy efficiency. Scientific evidence supports that refined footwork, especially lateral explosiveness, allows players to cover more ground while expending less energy. For someone in their 40s, conserving metabolic reserves late in matches can be the difference between claiming or losing one of those grinding, 5-set finals. Novak's elegant footwork belies the fact that every ounce of energy spared early on pays dividends later. Finally, mental readiness goes hand in hand with physical preparation. The precise timing and dynamic posture of lateral warm-ups sends a clear signal to Novak's brain: I'm ready for the unpredictable nature of match play. This helps sharpen his reflexes and situational awareness. When he smiles at the crowd as he finishes warming up, there's a deeper reason than just routine. It's the culmination of physical, mechanical, and psychological preparation all coming together, fine-tuned by decades of high-level play. These movements target the hip flexors, hamstrings, groin, and abductors, muscle groups central to every explosive stride, pivot, and reach on court. Research shows that dynamic exercises like leg swings significantly increase blood flow, elevate muscle temperature, and enhance range of motion in joints and surrounding tissues. For Novak, whose game thrives on split-second responses, this priming is essential. Leg swings offer key benefits. They mobilize the hips in both forward back and lateral planes, activating stabilizers and ensuring both limbs are ready for the unpredictable stress of match play. Side-to-side swings enhance the groin, hip abductors, and adductors, critical for balanced and powerful movement across the court. By swinging each leg through a full arc, Djokovic awakens the neuromuscular pathways that regulate limb control, making his reactions fluid and his footwork resilient to fatigue or strain. Lower body stretching, woven into this dynamic sequence, further enhances joint flexibility and muscular elasticity. Rather than holding static positions, Djokovic employs continuous movement, what sports science calls dynamic stretching, which supports performance by replicating actual tennis motions without dampening power. These stretches coax out lingering stiffness, often from overnight rest, so every muscle and joint can work with pliability and precision. What distinguishes Djokovic is that he never rushes this stage. Scientific evidence supports that dynamic warm-ups reduce injury risks, particularly for lower body problems like strains or groin pulls, while also sharpening agility and coordination. Each controlled motion reinforces not just physiological readiness, but the subtle brain-muscle timing required for elite athletic movement. Moreover, by increasing circulation and oxygen delivery to the muscles, these routines sustainably boost endurance deep into matches. For Djokovic, now playing well into his 40s, this means every burst, recovery, and directional change arrives with efficiency, minimizing wasted energy. Finally, there's a psychological edge. These repetitive, flowing movements help center focus, grounding Novak's mind in the physical reality of match conditions. It's a signal to his nervous system. We're here, ready to execute. Djokovic includes balance drills in his pre-match warm-up because balance is the foundation of his legendary footwork and shot-making, especially vital as he moves through old age. When you watch Djokovic slide into a wide ball or recover mid-rally, what stands out isn't just agility, it's his unwavering stability. That mastery of control stems from meticulously training his proprioception and postural adjustment, and warm-up balance drills activate exactly those systems before any point is played. In tennis, balance allows you to shift weight, control your core, and hit with maximum power without sacrificing precision. The ability to hold your posture while changing directions at speed, especially after a slide or reaching for a deep ball, is what turns defense into offense. Balance drills aren't just about staying upright on one foot. They're about conditioning the neuromuscular links that manage joint position, spinal alignment, and limb coordination under pressure. With age, athletes naturally experience reductions in proprioceptive sensitivity and muscle strength around the ankles, knees, and core. For Djokovic, counteracting these declines is essential. Warm-up balance drills proactively engage those stabilizing muscles and neural pathways, helping preserve sharp reaction times, reduce missteps, and protect against common injuries like ankle sprains and knee strains. Beyond physical readiness, these drills offer psychological perks. Executing complex footwork tests such as single-leg holds or unstable surface work before matches encourages mental focus. It primes Djokovic to anticipate imbalance and recover instinctively, sharpening his split-second decision-making while reinforcing a mindset of resilience and control. Novak Djokovic incorporates resistance bands and arm swings into his pre-match warm-up to maintain upper body sharpness, power, and joint health. Vital considerations for any athlete competing into their 40s. These practices are more than simple routines. They're nuanced tools that balance performance, injury prevention, and longevity. Arm swings, performed dynamically, serve as a foundational movement to increase shoulder mobility and blood flow. By swinging the arm forward and backward, Djokovic increases circulation in the deltoids, rotator cuff, and surrounding tissues, prepping his joints and muscles for the explosive serve, forehand, and backhand that follow. Research confirms that such dynamic movement enhances the range of motion and triggers the neuromuscular pathways necessary for precise, powerful strokes. Resistance band work complements these swings by promoting shoulder stability and tendon resilience. Many period recommendations for tennis warm-ups include resistance bands because they deliver targeted tension that activates stabilizers around the shoulder, elbow, and wrist, all before volleys begin. As aging athletes naturally lose muscular elasticity and joint cushion, Djokovic's band exercises become a form of maintenance, keeping swing mechanics intact while safeguarding against overuse injuries like tennis elbow or rotator cuff issues. Combining dynamic swings with band resistance primes his nervous system, ensuring smooth kinetic chains from foot strike to follow-through. This enhances timing, power, and shot accuracy without overstressing joints. As connective tissue stiffens with age, these warm-ups help preserve flexibility, delaying declines in swing velocity and arm coordination. Moreover, this warm-up sets a psychological tone, activating focus and rhythm before the first serve. It signals readiness and primes muscle memory for consistent execution. When he launches himself up each step, he's engaging his fast-twitch muscle fibers, tapping into the neuromuscular pathways needed to spring into action during a rapid rally. These fibers are essential for the kind of first-step quickness and directional changes that Djokovic executes dozens of times per match. By jumping upstairs repeatedly, Novak activates his quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves, all in sync, while training his body to use the stretch-shortening cycle efficiently. In this rapid eccentric to concentric muscle action, the muscles pre-stretch and then recoil explosively, translating directly to his on-court leaps for overheads, split-step bursts, and recovery steps after sliding. Importantly, stair jumps load the lower body against gravity more intensely than flat ground movement, fostering strength in key muscle groups and reinforcing tendon resilience. This translates to improved ground reaction force during match play, which means Djokovic can push off the court with greater power and quicker reset after every shot. These benefits carry added value as Novak continues playing into his 40s. Plyometric work through stair jumps helps maintain tendon health and bone density, two things that can decline with. Includes rope skipping in his pre-match warm-up because it rapidly boosts cardiovascular endurance, footwork agility, coordination, and leg tendon resilience, all while being low impact, helping him maintain explosive court movement and balance even as he advances into bonus age as a tennis player. Noli also does back-stretching exercises in his pre-match warm-up to maintain spinal mobility and core integrity, essential for sustaining his dynamic court movement well into his 40s. By gently stretching the lumbar and thoracic regions, he enhances flexibility in both the back and hips, ensuring fluid weight transfer and optimal rotational power during serves and ground strokes. Dynamic back stretches also increase blood flow to the spine's supporting muscles, reducing stiffness and lowering injury risk, especially important as connective tissues stiffen with age. This targeted prep preserves Novak's signature movement efficiency and resilience.